I know. Okay, we better get serious.
Okay, I've got to figure out how to get this muted. Thank you, dear.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, it's being recorded.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Jane.
Good morning.
Sorry, it took a while to get on the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I muted Linda so you didn't hear all the sidebar conversations. So.
Well, it's complicated.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that whole internet thing. Oh,
It may be here to stay, though.
I think so. I think you may be right.
Yeah.
I think we're really onto something with that.
Oh. Yeah. I think we have compost for you, so we'll be getting that to you soon.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure Darren will be thrilled with that. So
Yeah. Okay.
I am going to go venture and get a cup of coffee because I went to visit my daughter this past weekend. It was really exciting. But my flight didn't get in until like 11:30 last night. So yeah.
Drink coffee.
Yeah, because there's no easy way to get from Montgomery to Oklahoma City. It is. No. Well, they charged it to me.
Did they really?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was just like, where did that come from? Unless they changed it this morning.
Okay. Do you want? Can you get online and look at it a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, something, just,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
help her out.
Because I was just like, what the heck? I know.
Because he's like,
All right.
let me know.
Well, Jack asked me to, so we could Zoom. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll work that out in a little bit. Okay, coffee time is the important thing.
Yeah, that's true too. All in favor of the motion, raise their hand.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Coffee is life.
Yeah.
Total list.
Come here, Waddy.
I'm doing good. This is Nexus and Foundation. Nexus.
Oh.
Mary, that's me right here. Yeah.
Okay, it had Nexus.
Oh, no,
Right
there's
here.
like,
That looks good.
Oh, we're sharing because we're gonna be a small, intimate group.
yeah, probably.
Oh, you know what? I have,
Hi,
I've
Jane.
been carrying
Good morning,
this
Sam.
around in my car. Crap, what I do with it.
Oh.
I had an extra copy of that, article in the paper when you guys did the food drive.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
Who would want that
Um, I'm thinking,
when I find it?
That was bad.
maybe Christine
Connie or, okay,
as
Christine.
community service.
Do you know about that Dragonfly House? Have you ever, for human
Uh,
trafficking, the nonprofit that helps the
Are they,
victims?
they're,
They're
didn't they
based out of Oklahoma
present to,
City.
didn't they present to us way back when we were at Golden Corral?
I
we-
don't remember that, and no
Okay.
one that I've talked to this morning has mentioned that. So,
Okay,
you know,
Like
they
I-
formed in 2016.
probably not then.
And if not, you know, they spoke to the Democratic women last night,
Okay,
and it was a really, you know, a PowerPoint.
right.
Why does
Where did
this
you
keep
go that
coming
you got in
on?
late last night?
I went to Alabama to see my daughter.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna go see my kids because of mine's in Denton.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a huge baseball fan, but Montgomery's got my favorite.
Oh.
baseball team.
oh, that's
Oh,
11:15 is not that late.
Oh, come on. Like the Montgomery Biscuits, who can't get behind a team whose mascot is Big Buttered Biscuit?
You gotta love them. That's a great name.
that's
Oh my God. I think my daughter was telling me that they've won like best minor league mascot for several years in a row. But it's so cute because it's a split biscuit and his tongue's a pat of butter.
Oh, my God. That's
It's like,
hilarious. Okay, so did I lose my, yeah.
gotta love minor league baseball.
yeah. When we were up in New England last week, well, I guess 2 weeks ago, we went to, I don't know what the league is, but it's consists of college players who are playing like in a summer league.
It's the
The
Cape
Cape
Cod,
Cod
it's
League.
called the Cape Cod League.
Okay.
Cape Cod League. A lot of good players there too.
They use
Well,
wooden
yeah,
bats.
we went to the Nashua Silver Knights versus the Vermont Lake Monsters.
That's great.
It was
What did their mascots look like?
horrible. Well, the Silver Knights was clearly a knight. And I don't think the Vermont Lake Monsters brought theirs with it, but it was kind of dragon looking, you know, somewhere like Dragon meets Loch Ness Monster, you know.
Yeah.
But well, for baseball fans, let's just say that the Nashua Silver Knights went through 5 pitchers in 7 innings. But,
Not one of their
So,
better
Gene-
games.
Jane, you say you're not a baseball fan, but you're getting sucked in. I can feel it.
you know, like I'm a sucker for a hot dog and a beer, so you know,
There you go. That's how it starts.
red hot,
Yeah.
right? Oh, and we went to Fenway Park, which was pretty awesome.
There you go.
Did you visit or did you go for a game?
Well, the Sox weren't playing in town, so they have a tour of the park you can do.
Yeah,
And so
I've
we
done
did
the,
we did the park that my nephew who played baseball all growing up, that was like the one thing he wanted to do in Boston. So
Yeah.
so that's what we did.
I've done that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Well, he smiled and he voluntarily let people take his picture, which is a pretty big deal for my nephew. So as a teenager that he is. So
Good.
You fed his spirit that week.
yeah, and you know, so he was kind of smiling ear to ear as we were standing on top of the big green monster.
One of the things he and I talked about.
Yeah.
So it was a good tour. So it was a lot of fun.
Is that maybe we could do it after Rotary enough,
Yeah.
like next week it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Non-Rotarian doing
Who is A?
I don't mind doing
Here we go. I guess we're getting started, guys.
Okay.
Ding.
Happy meeting.
Yes. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful day.
We're trying an experiment. Is it better with the microphone or without the microphone?
With. Are you talking about singing or talking?
Bob Esri, our invocation.
Lord, sure love you. Thank you so much for this day. Giving us a beautiful morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. We are here, Jack. Ask the Lord to bless us. And bless Jack.
Are you getting these texts?
Lord, that you do wisdom here. And for each one of us, as we supportive, ask Lord that you do a board of records, help them to make good decisions. Thanks for loving us. You're such a good God.
Virginia Sanders for the pledge and the four-way test. I think we know them both by heart, and the flag's over here.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the
Four-way
four-way
test.
test of the things we say and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? I love that.
Do we have any guests? I haven't seen any.
Mosquitoes.
Okay.
Your wife, but she lives here. But
Ruth is here.
Ruth, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Do we have any happy dollars?
Anybody else getting a shoot on?
I've got a couple of $100. So, supposed to have 2 grandchildren this summer. One was supposed to be in August, and one was supposed to be this week. One this week was scheduled for Thursday, or before, and that was in Tuesday. Well, I think the Lord had other plans. So, Saturday night, one decided to come early. So at 8:57 yesterday, Ezra L. Benson Bryant came into the world, and mom and dad are doing great. Ezra's doing great. It's a little time in the NICU unit because he came a little early, but very exciting. So instead of having 2 grandchildren over 2 months this summer, I'm gonna have a boy and a girl in the same week. Wanted to have the first grandchild, and so Ezra kind of snuck in under there a little bit. But I thought for a minute there, once she heard that, they would send her into labor, and I'd probably have 2 on the same day. But it didn't work out.
So, Jeff, are these your first 2?
Yeah, these are our first 2.
First 2? Well, keep going. You gotta get up to 12 eventually. Any other happy dollars? Jane?
So my happy dollars, because I got to go see my beautiful daughter Elizabeth in Montgomery, Alabama over the weekend. It's the first time I've seen her in 9 months. And so, yeah, so I got to spend a lot of time with her, and we got to bake together and watch movies and play board games. And I got to go to work with my daughter. So instead of take your daughter to work, it was take your mom to work with you. And that's always a beautiful thing when your child has her own job with her own insurance and her own car payments and all that kind of thing. So anyway, so it was, got back late last night, but it was a wonderful visit, and I'm happy to be home though.
Nice.
Other happy dollars?
She works.
It's not a happy dollar, but it's just a comment.
She works.
On the and Armando, the owner, he is one of 14 children, that family. And his pop just died in Mexico. And he was telling us that he had, his mom and dad had 57 grandchildren and 47 great-grandchildren. Grandma.
Other happy dollars? Well, I have one. I'm happy that David and his people have provided us with good weather today. This is the third try we've done to have something out here, and it has rained on 2 of them. And I was going to propose, if it rained today, that we have a new fundraiser. And if there's an area in Oklahoma that's having a drought, we hire ourselves out to do a Northern Sooner Rotary outdoor event, and they're sure to have rain. But today's good weather blew that away, so we can't do that now. So good. Any other happy dollars? Okay, Jane.
Yeah, thank you.
I think you're gonna have to come up here so you don't feedback with the.
Yep, the computer, yeah. Good morning. I have a handful of Paul Harris awards to hand out, but I'm the new foundation chair. And for those of you who are not aware, the foundation is kind of the charitable fundraising arm of Rotary that provides grants to clubs around the world conduct international kind of service projects, but also, Polio Plus is part of that. And as well as the money that we give comes back to our district in the form of district grants. And last year we had the big district grant that we, painted the laundry room at, Food and Shelter, and replaced a few of the machines there, and we painted their bathrooms and that type of thing. So there's lots of ways, both local and internationally, that your dollars that go to the Rotary Foundation come back to us. And so this morning, would like to recognize a few of our members who have achieved Paul Harris particular level. So starting with, and they're not here this morning, so I'll have to find a way to get with them here. Both John Sparks and Miles Deering are Paul Harris +1 fellows. So congratulations to them. And then Michael Ridgway, ooh, this is a big one, Michael. Paul Harris +6. Yay! I'm going to shake a hand here. Thank you. I also had a Paul Harris pin in there. I'm Paul Harris +3. So that little bit every month that I have the auto deduction. Thank you for that. And last but not least, we have David Imey. David Imey is Paul Harris +7. So again, thank you. And so I would really like to encourage everyone, when I first joined the club, we used to do quarterly dues, like $25 a quarter, where it was tacked on to our dues, and for us to be a sustaining club, to have like 100% participation. But we kind of moved away from that model. But with the ease of technology, and thank goodness for the internet, Dick Pryor, I really do think it's a time, it's an idea whose time has come, ought to stick around. You can go on to your Rotary website, log in, and you can set up so that monthly deductions are made, which is way easier to do. You don't even have to think about it. It's like paying your telephone bill. So I would really encourage all of you to look at doing that. It makes record keeping a whole lot easier and much easier to budget as well. So thank you so much.
My Rotary.
MyRotary.org. Thank you for the reminder there, Mary. So we are so lucky. We have so many people in our club that work at district level that help remind us of all the district initiatives and the larger organization initiatives. But thank you. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Even easier. It's on our, centerrotary.org. You can donate from our website. You can set that up. Okay. So they've made it super easy. So, but that's a different program for another time. I'm going to hand it back to Jack. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jake. Announcements. One is, David, if you'd come up and tell us about the Day of Caring.
The day of caring will be Friday, September 17th. They want everyone who's going to go to sign up by August 20th. And the reason is Bob Usry and company will be delivering lunches. So they want to know how many lunches to have. Also, they want to know how many t-shirts they need. When you go to the site, we've had 5 people from our club sign up so far. The more, the merrier. And we will be assigned to some nonprofit in town. We'll go out. We may be working with another group, depending if they need 5 people or if they need 20 people. So if you are available, now you're available that day, Friday, September 17th. And by the way, you can come for like 2 hours, 4 hours. You don't have to stay for the whole day. You can just come for whatever time works for you. So I sent the link yesterday for those who want to participate. So just go hit the link, fill out the information, and we'll see you September 17th.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Friday.
You might send that link out.
Send it one more time.
Yeah.
I'll send it again, maybe like in early August.
Announcement. We are trying to get back to our normal fellowship, and our first lunch buddy is this Friday, 11:45 at Louis here on 36th. If you're going to be there, let me know because I need to give them a head count. So just text me or come up and tell me or email me or something and let me know. This Friday, the 23rd, 11:45, Louis on 36th. Okay. Jennifer has passed out some financial information and she's going to review this for us.
We know that the board sees the financials every month, but we thought the rest of the club doesn't get to see them most of the time. So since we just ended our financial year, we wanted to provide you a copy. And then I just kind of wanted to do a very, very brief explanation of what you're looking at. A lot of people here look at financials every day on their jobs. Some people don't look at financials. So the first 2 pages are the income statement, and this is for the 12 months ending June 30. And your first column is this year, so July 1 of 2020 to June 30 of 2021. And the second column is last year, the same time frame. So it just compares actual numbers this year to actual numbers last year. The first half of the page is all income, and just kind of glancing down, you can see that our membership dues, the 4th line, were lower than last year, which we fully anticipated. You can see the fundraisers that we had. The one fundraiser raised almost $1,000. And then we did add a section for the Satellite Club. So you can see them towards the middle of the page. The rest of that page and the second page are all expenses. And it starts with club operating expenses. The fellowships that we have are listed, or all the expenses are grouped there together. Our dues to Rotary International and District. The meals that we paid, obviously that was a huge savings this year because we didn't meet in person. We went from $17,000 last year to $1,900 this year, so a huge savings. And then on the second page, and this is another key reason we wanted everybody to see this, this shows who we donated money to throughout the year. And because we saved on on meals this year, we were able to contribute quarterly to 4 of the organizations that we typically support. And you can see those donations under the community service section. You can see Bridges, Food and Shelter, Transition, and Working for Independent Living, which is Willows. Those were the 4 that we chose to give quarterly donations to in some form. So those are all things that we did that were good this year. And then also community service. This is for the youth. Ryla, obviously we were able to send campers. The Kay Absher Scholarship, which goes to Bridges, and then the donation that we made to the Latour de Vin, which went to the Virtue Center. So that's pages 1 and 2. You can see the bottom line. It was a net income of $6,800 for the year compared to $7,300 for last year. So not too bad, actually. And the second, or the third and fourth pages, or the second set of financials, is the same income statement that you just looked at in the first column compared to budget. Every year before we get going, the board puts or the president puts together a budget. So this is last year's budget compared to last year's actual numbers. So the left column is exactly the same, and you can see what we budgeted. And we actually beat budget, which was very nice. So we budgeted a positive $385, and again we had a net income of $6,800. The final page, page 5, is your balance sheet. And this just shows how much money we have in that bank account, which is $51,000 compared to $42,000 at this time last year. Yay, I know, thanks. I didn't do it, but I'll say thanks. The accounts receivable for the main club and the accounts receivable for the satellite club. And then we have one little liability that we overpaid to RI. We'll clear that up. And the bottom line, our retained earnings. So our total assets are $52,000. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be around.
Are we getting to the Step the Bus through the club at all? Is that budgeted? Can someone take the money for people who forgot to give last week? Do we know?
The girls took them.
came. Right, I had my check, but it didn't get in their hands. I just wondered if. Well, I knew to do that.
I can do that.
One thing that will change is the RILA scholarships. The board has decided to name those the John M. Buck Memorial RILA Scholarship. So you'll see that on the financials henceforth.
I just think we should give Jennifer a big hand for keeping up with all this.
Yay,
I don't
Jennifer.
want to do it.
Are there any other announcements that anyone wants to make? Okay, JJ, we're trying to figure out, we have 2 Jennifers in a row that are going to be our president. How do we distinguish between saying Jennifer last name and Jennifer? She's going to be JJ and she's going to be Jim.
Yes. Our JJ1 and JJ2.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we are going to get organized, and the way that we have everybody arranged right now is in your committees, but you'll see that some committees are there are multiple committees at one table or grouping. And the reason for that is this year we decided that our teams would be, we wanted to try having our team structure follow our committee structure. That way we can interact more as a committee. We'll have more opportunities to have fellowship and hopefully grow our committees and work together better as a committee. So what we want to do for the remainder of this meeting is you definitely need to have a committee meeting amongst yourselves at your grouping. And then after you meet as your committee, we're going to meet as our teams. So for the people who are in multiple committee teams, you'll kind of, switch the topic of conversation, and we need to plan out our year. And this is just like what we've done the last few years. Each team will have a little worksheet, and you can name your team if you would like. You can elect a team leader if you would like. And during your team's time frame, which is at the top of these planning sheets, that time frame is whenever your team is responsible for hosting at least one lunch buddy, one breakfast buddy, and one happy hour. And we have had multiple requests to get back to our happy hour structure of meeting on the third Thursdays of each month at Blue. So we are going to go ahead and pre-arrange that for the year. So really the happy hour part is pretty easy. You just need to make sure that there is a person from your team that's willing to be the host for that happy hour. And being a host is easy. You just have to make sure you show up. You're gonna pay the tab for the food that the club will buy. And then you're gonna take your receipt and email it to Jennifer and she will reimburse you for that. So there are 2 teams that will have 2 happy hours because of the way the calendar falls. There's 2 Thursdays, 2 third Thursdays in those teams' time frames. And that's all on here on this sheet. So if you have any questions, let me know, but I will pass these out and you guys just go ahead and start meeting as committees. Yes, Virginia.
Okay, so if it falls on like more than just 3 weeks, do you want us to try to do something every week? Or should we just try to maybe do 4 out of the 6 weeks, or what's the?
Yeah, it's, you know, if you would like to do more lunch buddies or breakfast buddies, feel free to, but we want to make sure that at least during your time frame, there's 1 lunch buddy, 1 breakfast buddy, and the happy hour. But on this sheet, there's a place to think of events. You know, before COVID, we would go do events with each other. We would go to the Sooner Theater, or there's been a lot of events in the past. Go to the baseball game. So those things are, we just want to, you know, try to get our fellowship back in order and going strong. Okay, let's go.
Okay, a couple things. If anyone would like an extra copy of this to take home, let me know and I'll make a copy for you of your time. And
this thing here?
Committees. And the basis for this is that our team structure has worked really well in the past. And we thought we would just combine the committee and the team structure so that you're really a group that's planning these and also doing your committee work too. We want to strengthen our committee structure. And I hope that the chairs of the committees will have regular meetings. If you want to do it on Zoom, I have a Zoom account and you can use mine if you would like to meet on Zoom or.
Hey, Jack, your microphone is John.
You just need to hold it closer.
Closer to your mouth. Closer to your mouth.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get it up close here. I have a Zoom account. If the chairs want to meet on Zoom, just let me know and we'll set it up with you as the co-host and you can run it and I don't have to be there. But feel free to use that if you would like. So with that said,
And I'll fill this
call
out.
your meetings to order.
Yes. Y'all okay with that?
Yes. You're about to be volunteered for every job over here.
That's what I don't know, because there's one over there and I'm on that team. I'm on 2 teams now.
Well, Christy.
So we're breaking into
Yeah, be on
committees
there
right now.
too.
I am on 2 teams. Okay. So.
Okay, one more thing. There are some people that are on more than 1 committee. So and there's not very many. I think there might be 4 or 5. If you are one of those people, pick whatever committee you want to work with today and go for it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so does everybody know what committee they're on out in the virtual world?
I don't.
Dick, you're on foundation committee.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
With Mary and I.
Oh yeah, I think I picked members, not committee,
Oh, okay.
which is fine.
I'm fundraising.
Hey, could you remind me which committee I'm on, please?
Yeah, Aaron's, you are on, I just saw you. Where'd that go? You're on youth services, Aaron's.
Okay.
Judy knows that she's on fundraising. Dick, you think you're on fundraising too? That's where you wanted to be?
No, your committee.
Okay, foundation.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, Sam, of course, is,
You got that. You got that.
let's see, where is Sam at?
Sergeant Barnes.
Sergeants, probably sergeants.
Okay. Oh, there they are. So, yeah, in charge of that. So get that meeting going over there, Sam. Let's see, Jack. You're on community service. So
Jack. Yeah.
Jack O'Hare. So anyway, All right, so, okay, so I guess we're gonna have our foundation meeting now. So anyway, I don't know if the others of you want to mute me or, Jake, just kind of chime in. Judy, if you, or if you just want to log off at this point, I don't know, because we're kind of in small groups now.
So
Hard to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to do that without breakout rooms, and people don't have computers, so.
Okay, this sounds like we're planning nothing but social activities to me, which kind of bothers me.
Okay, so we have
Yes.
a committee meeting first. So Nexus meets, Foundation meets, and then we get together as a team. So like Nexus plus Foundation makes a team, and then we plan the social stuff. So
October is the big polio month too, so that's good that we have that, because I will try to.
Know that I did. I went online and for the polio class, and I got in before June 30th to make a donation. So
I think people really try to do that.
I do too.
I appreciate it, because that's all. I'm just trying to get everybody on board.
Okay,
with
so
the
what are we doing?
Foundation.
Okay, so committee meetings first, and then team meeting. So I am on the schedule for September to be the program for the foundation.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of like a real quick synopsis, remind people what the foundation does, like, and what they fund, internationally, nationally, local, that kind of thing.
Phil Moss has kind of a PowerPoint for that, to kind of, so people can kind of, see the breakdown structure, which is a little confusing if they haven't seen that before.
Right.
About the designated funds.
Well, and then how our club has used like district grants to, from those donations. But then I want to include like a slide and provide everybody with a handout on how to go ahead and set up that automatic giving. So that, my goal would be to get us back to that 100% sustaining thing.
And I think it would really help. I suggest this every year, but kind of do like United Way does, because we don't want to call out certain people, but I think if everybody saw like a little pie chart of where we were, hey, we're at 75% of people giving something, and I don't think we go there to try to say it has to be 25. I mean, you could totally suggest that.
Yeah, you can make a one-time donation of $20. Like it doesn't matter what.
Or to be your
participation,
sustaining, 100. We can kind of talk about the competition with other clubs in the district. I don't think that hurts, to say, we've been really close, but that's just, some clubs don't give people any choice. They just say, if you're gonna be in this club, this is happening.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Which
that's
is not right, but that we're giving them the option of doing that, and that we're really big on just 100% participation and not amount. And maybe we can get that info from Linda. I think that we can, that, maybe just quarterly, we just show a little pie chart that, here's where we are. So if it's down to 10 people and they know they might be part of that 30%, maybe they get on the stick to give them.
Well, yeah, so I think that's a good idea, because, I agree with you. It needs to be voluntarily, but it's like any amount, right?
Right,
It's like,
right. And that's kind of what I did for polio. It's just, we want everybody to get in the habit of giving something. So they have to go in there to my Rotary and get something set up, or the one-time thing.
Yeah, Dick, you had something to
I
add?
was just going to say that works for public broadcasting. You get people in the door at some level, and then at some point they may add to it, but you want them in the door.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
and we've got these other incentives, like the birthday, they're going to get 100 points. We need to talk about the point system too, because that kind of, and we can break that up if you want. I can just talk about the points or kind of the structure, but let me get that PowerPoint from Phil Moss, because we don't have to use all of those, but we could tweak it.
Yeah, because as I remember, it was kind of long, so if we could pare it down just a few slides.
And they need to know that if they give to polio, that they also get points for that, and that counts toward a Paul Harris. Some of them don't understand that they have that choice of giving to the district or the World Fund or polio.
Well, when you go in to set up your account, like you have several choices. Like you can do the general fund or you can do polio plus.
Maybe,
So like,
maybe we just walk them through that page.
well, that was my idea, is to do screenshots, because like we don't have Wi-Fi at that pavilion at Jimmy Austin yet.
Oops.
Yeah, and so like, and that was why I was going to provide a handout on how to do that. So, you know, if you're like me, like that's great that you showed me how to do that, but like an hour later when I actually go to sit down to do it, I forget how. So anyway, so like, you know, just kind of
That'd be great.
kind of a step-by-step on how to go through, like, and, you know, making that choice.
And it's good to do it early, because Foundation Month is actually in November. I mean, we can still do something
Yeah, so we can
big in there. And I hope to do some kind of polio fund drive or some kind of activity to raise money in October, or maybe we play the game again or something, since we missed that last year. But that way in September, they're set up at the beginning of the year to know what's going on.
Well, and I don't know how, was doing the 50-50 fairly successful, or like the 50-50 weekly draw back, you know, when we used to meet in person. So
we weren't really, we ended up, it all went to Foundation.
Right.
A lot of clubs keep half of it, but yeah, we could pick that up again. That was a good, and you know, a lot of the people on our committee are not coming to meet. And I mean, Andy's out, Helen hasn't been coming, but that would pull, yeah, that would pull some of those people in to say, you've got it that month.
Right. Yeah, so
I move that we do the,
like bring back 50-50.
Well, I said it won't be 50-50, but the drawing.
Yeah.
Do we want to do it every month or quarterly or every other month, even months?
The drawing for
the foundation, where everybody throws something in the kitty and then we draw it out. That person gets to give the whole amount in there and they get credit for the whole amount. That's how we were doing it, rather than keeping
that's
half.
a good idea. So like if you know, Virginia won the pot, like she would get that credit towards her
Linda would take all the money, deposit it, and then that gets credit to that person.
Okay, yeah, maybe a monthly thing like that of the 50-50. That'd be cool. And then like do it like a, you know, not the first Tuesday because that's birthdays, but kind of like that where they draw for the House Smith or the.
I think we were trying to do
or quarterly.
Second, when we were doing it monthly, it kind of got, you know, because we'd have tours and different stuff.
Yeah.
What about every other month, like even months?
That would work.
Even months.
Fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. So I like that.
I'm not taking notes, but I'm going to write that down. Then we can give our committee members something to do to get them to the meeting.
Yeah.
Does that need to be run by the board? Maybe you can mention that, make sure everybody's okay with it.
Yeah. So, well, you know, because I think it's just bringing back something that we did before COVID. You know, BC now has a new meaning, right? It's like instead of BCE, before the COVID era.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID PC.
Yeah.
Of course, we're getting ready to enter another COVID era. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Based on flying yesterday, I would agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're driving. The rest of our trips, no more flying. Hey, how about those Cardinals last night?
Yeah, they won. I want them to bomb it and start over, but so I'm hoping they lose. They just don't have enough talent and they're fooling themselves. But anyway, that's another story.
Oh, don't go down that path. Just take the wins as you can get them.
Right. And we will, and we'll miss the playoffs, but you know, that's the way that goes.
Yeah. I still like just watching the Cubs bomb, you know, and have 3 errors in an inning. That was kind of fun.
Well, that's true. Not a fan of the small bears.
I've got to go get my pantry ready.
All right. Yeah, I think that.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we're there. I think we're good there. So,
do we need to make an official thing about the Happy Dollars go to polio, or is that kind of a given?
I think, that was what we were doing before. So I think, we just kind of continue that. and let
Just want to
people
get
know.
ahead of it and make sure those still,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna try to get a program sometime in October,
Okay.
because I know we'll need to plan the happy hour and all that, but
Right.
I really would like to do some kind of, because I mean, that's what Rotary's all about. And we've never done kind of a big polio awareness thing for the community or something. And I'd like to see us do something now that we're out of COVID.
Hey, Mary, do you have an idea on what you want that to look like?
Well, if nothing, just some kind of awareness, if nothing else. We did like the polio Jeopardy where everybody had to study up and divide into teams and, play the game just so people know about what's going on with, facts and figures. And the fundraising that I did, I kind of like to give everybody a jar just to put stuff out at their business to collect things.
So
I've got a thought, and it kind of runs, unfortunately, and I still can't quite figure this one out. It's sort of runs into politics a little bit, but it is the importance of vaccinations, and polio is the great example.
Yeah.
And how it changed our lives when they were eager to get vaccinated because it was so awful. And I think a lot of people maybe have forgotten that.
Right.
I sent out an email kind of to that effect, but we're headed in that direction. We need to preach that.
Yeah.
And that might be a good way to tie it in.
Well, but I think if we remind that, polio has been Rotary's big project for like several decades now, and the success of that, and just remind people that, that's our big thing. Let's get vaccinated and do our part to take care of our communities. So.
Well, and when you think about it, polio was so horrible.
Yeah.
And we've been doing the vaccinations now for 60 years, and it's still not eradicated.
Yeah.
But if we had not done the vaccinations and all these pushes and Rotary's work and all that, where would we be on that?
The crux of the email was polio is only a plane ride away. And I think people understand that now more than anything. If people in another country are not vaccinated, we are not safe.
Yep.
And of course that applies to our own country too. But that's a great idea to try to just tie that in. We used to do kind of a foundation moment. We always try to do that kind of like the first, if they'd give me like 2 minutes, we just give these little shots at the beginning of the meeting just to kind of inform people. And that would be a great little sound bite that we could work in. We'd have to ask Jack if we could have that, at the first of every month.
Yeah, I can do
because
that.
I've got lots of blips written up, but
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that's good.
I would say, like, for those of you who are out there, if you're still listening, so I met last week with April Heupel and Taylor Wagner as a part of fundraising for the club. We are going to do the trivia night again this year in late September. It'll be a Friday before a home game. I think the date is September 24th, if my memory is correct. So we're gonna do the trivia night fundraiser again, and we're going to use it to fund scholarships for students such as Ryla, but also like the Bridges K. Absher Scholarship. And then we're going to also hopefully raise enough money to provide like scholarships for elementary kids to attend summer camps, especially at those at our lower income elementary schools like Adams and Kennedy and Jackson, where those children don't get that opportunity to go to summer camps, which are really great enrichment opportunities that
not
science.
royal kids.
Mhm.
That one.
Not necessarily royal kids, but looking at how kind of starting with those schools but expanding it to low income kids. So that we can provide them that life experience of going to a really great like summer arts camp.
That's
or
what you
summer
need for your
STEM camp.
fundraiser is a good cause. And we really play that up, I think.
Well, and so our proposal we're going to make to the board probably next month is that kind of renaming all of these, like kind of the John and Buck
Everyone
Scholarship,
starts to.
like fund,
wonder
that
how
type of
keep the
thing,
meetings
to
going.
Yeah.
provide those. So-
Jay mentioned the different levels of Rotary Foundation.
Good idea.
And these
All right,
are
thanks,
the
guys.
levels that-
Hey, thanks. Have a good week.
Question,
Yeah, Sam.
do we intend to try and meet back at Jimmy Austin as far as, because I'm thinking about, I had left our paraphernalia there, and I'm gonna go back and check. I've had
Yeah.
some vehicle problems, but I'm hoping it's still there back in the, in the back room. But
September 2.
I didn't know if we made anything.
In October.
Yeah,
on the-
we have definitely voted that that's going to be kind of our permanent meeting place,
I
but
could
it's going to be
do-
much like the
I
trails
could do
where
a Friday
sometimes they have golf
breakfast.
tournaments and camp
Okay.
accommodation. So that will be like
That's about the
when
only.
we do
well,
fellowship
I
meetings or
actually
vocational
teach.
meetings someplace else.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, I'm going to turn off the Zoom now, guys. Have a great week.
When our
You too. Bye, Jane. Thank you.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
to 9.
Stay safe.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So do you want to